Hello, everyone, and welcome to the MotoAmerica AMA FIM North American Road Race Championship. We're at the Suzuki Championship at Road Atlanta here in Braselton, Georgia, for round 1 of 10 for 2018, as we are getting set for the Liqui Junior Cup class. Fans are out enjoying the beautiful weather in the lower 80s with some nice cloud cover in certain parts. This is Georgia, so, you can basically have sunshine here, sunshine there. Jason Pridmore sitting next to me, who's got a couple championships at the AMA competition. Hannah Lopa down on pit lane joins us as well as we were taking a look at the grid for this newly formed Liqui Junior Cup class. Jason?
It's great, and I've been watching the 300s race overseas in the World 300 Super Sport category, and that's what they've tried to copy here. Is you get a good look at Alex Dumas. Alex is going to be our pole sitter today, and set down a really fast lap this morning of 1 minute 43.486. But the neat thing is the support that this class has got from 3 different manufacturers. Well, at least 2. KTM is fully involved, as well as Yamaha with their new R3, or a couple-year-old R3. And then there are a couple privateers that have gone out and bought Kawasaki's. We'll get into that with our telecast. But to have some 25 riders, 26 riders on the grid, as you get a good look at Ashton Yates there. He's qualified second on one of those Kawasaki new Ninja 400s that has been available to run in this class.
So Ashton Yates qualifying in the second spot, a 143.7, Dumas a 143.4, so Dumas nearly 0.3 of a second. But a good story with Ashton Yates, of course, the son of Aaron Yates, as there's a future road racer right there bombing around on that pink machine. She's not in leathers. She's not going to be racing this one. Sean Barsky, 144.426, the second of our Orange Brigade KTM riders on that. That is the KTM RC390R machine, a beautiful looking motorcycle.
And talking with Chris Fillmore, they've been developing this bike for well over a year. KTM for the last couple of years has been a huge support of MotoAmerica, running the KTM 390 Cup, and you and I have had a blast getting to learn who some of these young guys are. You look at Corey Ventura sitting right in the middle of row 2 there. He's the first of the Yamaha R3s that, so far this weekend, I think that with the Yamahas, they've just, it's their first real race weekend of the year, getting to develop this bike a little bit. Minimal testing's been going on as you look at Jay Newton. Jay Newton starting on row 3 there, number 98. And, I think that this class has just proven to have some really close racing over the years, has the 300s. So we'll hope that that's going to continue as the year goes on. But right now we've got 2 KTMs on the front row with a Kawasaki next to them.
So the Liqui Junior Cup, of course, changed last year. We saw the KTM RC390 Cup. So matched motorcycles. This year, they've opened it up and allowed a variety of manufacturers and motorcycles. Let's go over it with you right now. Now, in this particular race, we have Kawasaki Ninja 400s, Yamaha YZF R3s, like Jason mentioned, a whole gaggle of those, and then the KTM RC390R. But other machines eligible for this class is the Honda CBR 500R, the Ninja 300, Jason, still available, as is the RC390, and still under debate right now with MotoAmerica is the Suzuki GSX 250R. All these motorcycles available for sale in the United States.
Yep.
Now, you may think to yourself, JP, okay, wait a second. You said CBR 500, there's Ninja 300, Ninja 400, 390s, 250s, and so on. So, in order for them to kind of get this parity going, MotoAmerica has some weight restrictions as well as RPM restrictions. So we take a look at this grid. We'll tell you more about that. But we mentioned Alex Dumas on pole, and he'll lead row number 1.
Yeah, right next to him, Ashton Yates, who was a pace sitter yesterday in first practice. He's going to be right there, Greg. Sean Barsky, they're just outside of row 1. Dallas Daniels, new to the quarterly racing team, on another Ninja 400, is there, along with Corey Ventura and Mark Edwards. Then we've got Jane Newton, Kevin Almeida, and Cameron Jones on row 3. Row 4, Gavin Anthony's back. Gage Reese has gone from 600s back to this class. Great to see him. I've seen him testing out at Chuckwalla during the winter. Jamie Astudillo doing a great job, qualifying 11th, I believe, and also on a Ninja 400. Jackson Blackman, one of our lead guys from last year. Teague Hobbs, Ryan Deutschlander outside of row 5. Row 6, we saw Jovi, Deutschlander, and Blysis. And then row 7, Freeman, Beauchamp, Hunter Dunham. Row 8 is Whistle. Toby Kamsuk, who I know is better than where he's qualified. I know he'll get moving up. Trevor Standish. And Nate Minster, I talked to him just before he went out, and they said, Jay, we're just struggling a little bit on some things. But you know what? It's the first race of the year. That's kind of to be expected. Some people are going to struggle off the bat, and you just got to keep your best foot forward and keep plugging along.
So the story of the weekend so far for this Liqui Moly Junior Cup class has been the disparity of the machines, or what some people perceived. As you can see, Yamaha has a huge presence, but it's been about the Ninja and about the KTMs. Only 2 of them in the field, and they occupy the front row. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens down this back straightaway on this first run, because we've seen, on average, those KTMs somewhere in the neighborhood of about 7 to 8 mile an hour faster on the top speed. We talked about this earlier. As they get ready to go, it's time to go racing.
There you go.
Actually, that's
great start for Alex. As you see, Humbarski's going to drop in right behind him, as well as Ashton Yates. I really feel that those 3 guys can get away if they don't mess each other up too much going up through this first little segment of the track here, up through turn 2, 3, 4.
No problem for someone in the back there. Here we go up the top of the hill. It is Dumas leading the way. Jason, you know, are my eyes deceiving me, or has Alex Dumas grown about 1.5 feet since the last time we saw him 6 months ago?
And that's neat for us to be able to see these young guys growing up, getting bigger and stronger. And Alex has been doing a ton of flat track during the offseason, which is, you know, to kind of build his aggression. Him and his dad, Francois, both. Francois is obviously a great rider as well, and now he's going flat tracking with his son. So they've been doing a lot of dirt track. They spent time down at Daytona during Bike Week, but you can see Sean Varski's gone right along with them. And it also looks like Dallas Daniels is going along with those 3 guys, kind of like we predicted a little bit, although I think it's Mark Edwards actually maybe in 4th, Greg. My eyes weren't deceiving me. Oh, somebody's down, Greg. And it might have been that 4th place rider. It might have been. It is. It's Mark Edwards, number 26, and that's a shame, because now these front 3 guys, they've kind of got it to themselves a little bit. They've already broke away from that pack for 4th.
So Edwards on the Eric Kondo Racing machine is out of Roseville, California. So the top 3, the front row breaking free. Leading the way right now is number 76, Gavin Anthony out of Ohio, on the Attack Performance Heron Compound Racing Yamaha. He'll go into a full tuck. So it's KTM RC390R versus the new Kawasaki Ninja 400 is Ashton Yates.
And Ashton, earlier on, we're going to have a look here, and you can see Mark just loses the rear end of the bike. That's really strange weird crash.
Yeah.
But just a lot of lean angle. May have even touched something down, Greg, because it looked like it actually elevated the rear of the bike off the ground there for him. So that's too bad, because he had got a great start from the 2nd row there.
Back to live action up front. So this lead trio, keeping it pretty tight here on lap number 2, down through the famous Road Atlanta S section. And they get ready to take this left-hander. This is turn 5, a spectacular turn on the superbike, wheelie up and over that. So here we get a look at the 2nd gaggle of riders.
Yeah, this group here, they're watching those guys. That's Corey Ventura, who we watched win a lot of races last year. So they're gonna have to go to work on these Yamahas a little bit, I think, to catch up. As you can see, there's a pretty big gap already, and we're not even 2 laps in. But you know, like I said, these KTMs, they've been getting developed for the better part of a year. And you know what's funny, when we were looking on the grid just now, it's amazing how much Ashton looks like his dad, like even through the helmet with the long hair and everything. And he rides a lot like Aaron too. Very aggressive, not afraid to let the bike move around underneath him and things. And he's doing his best right now to stay in that draft.
Interesting, Jason. I saw Ashton in Parc Ferme after their last practice session. And he and Aaron, his dad, and his grandfather, Luqui, were already talking about race strategy. How does he race these KTM RC390Rs? And there's a bit of a move. We're going to see if Ashton's going to go up the inside on Umbarski. Down the hill he comes, trying to get that Kawasaki slowed down. He'll make the corner. He runs a little bit wide again, but
he's going to have to be aggressive. That's the big thing for Ashton. He's a bigger guy. And, you know, he's doing everything he can to stay in the lead draft with these 2 guys. And but you're going to see he's going to be aggressive. He's going to be just like his dad. His dad used to be very aggressive, so much bike control. And so, yeah, that's what you're going to see. And you look up the inside here. Jamie Astudillo, I believe, bike number 49 there, Greg, has jumped herself up into 5th place. I'm just double checking because some of the numbers have changed for us this year.
Yeah, 49.
But she's right there in 5th place, Greg, on that, and she as well on a Ninja 400.
So Jamie Astudillo out of Pennsylvania on the Quarterly Racing on-track development Kawasaki Ninja 400. A rider that we saw last year in the KTM RC Cup class, and she was getting a little quicker, had some decent races back there, but this is a huge step forward for the motocross racer.
I've been watching her in practice, and she has looked really comfortable. Like, just looked very confident on the bike. And there she goes, up into 4th place now. So this is obviously the best Jamie's done. So let's just see if she can keep that thing together, get her head down now. And, obviously a lot of experience racing because she's done a lot of motocross.
Oh, yeah.
But look at the gaggle of riders that's right behind her right now.
And here's where Jamie, who's relatively small in stature and on that Ninja 400 has an advantage. Here's another attempt to pass into turn 10A. And it looks like Ashton Yates is going to take that position. And a good move to work himself into 2nd spot.
And you see, though, running wide on the exit. All that stuff, if these guys do anything like this together, it's going to allow Alex to kind of run away a little bit. Let's see if Sean gets in the draft to Ashton as they come down the front straightaway and is able to do anything with him as they go into turn 1. But right now, Ashton could see that little bit of a breakaway. Alex is really good in that 2nd sector, and he's able to get away. You can see even peeling into turn 1. He gets in there a little bit earlier than those 2 guys behind him, but he runs the bike out. On these bikes, you don't have to be so worried on the edges of the tires of doing something too silly under acceleration. So Alex runs really up the hill there on the edge of the tire a long way. You can see just getting away from these guys.
Alex Dumas out of Quebec, Canada. Good job against local boy, Milledgeville, Georgia resident, Ashton Yates. His father, Aaron, of course, raced as a pro superbike racer, factory racer for many years, had a lot of magic at his home track here at Road Atlanta. Now they're starting to fan out. Sean Varsky from Phoenix, Arizona on the Orange Brigade, Gilliman Racing, RC390.
And Aaron used to do things on a bike that just other people couldn't do. I used to, when I'd be on track with him, I would see him do things and I think, wow, he just does things that I knew I couldn't do. And I see a lot of that with Ashton. I see a lot of it. There's just, he's willing to go to other places on the racetrack that some of the other riders aren't to try to carry more corner speed, more roll speed. If you watch him, if you really watch carefully, you'll see him doing things a little bit different than everybody else just in order to hang on. And that's the stuff that Aaron used to do a lot of.
Ashton Yates, number 22, the 2nd bike in your screen. Jason, you're basically in Ashton Yates' position in terms of your dad is a 3-time Superbike champion, and you were, trying to cut your teeth early on into Superbike racing. And, of course, Ashton comes with the name Yates.
Yep.
So, does it add any pressure coming from a dad who is so recognizable and won so many races at AMA competition? Do you feel any extra pressure, like with your dad's
early in your
resume?
Early in your career, I think it is, Greg. And you can see Ashton's ran a 43.7 that lap, fastest lap of the race, just really pushing. I think early in your career, yes, you're trying to develop your own identity, but while you're doing that, you're still in the shadows of your father. Oh, it looks like we had some action down in the last corner. Some people
98.
ran wide there.
Yeah, it looks like Jay Newton out of Texas on the AGV Sport American Monkey Moto R3 ran off the track back there.
But that said, I think that once you start to develop your own personality and you start winning races on your own, much like Ashton's already done, and he's shown himself to be very formidable on a motorcycle, you kind of develop your own personality, and some of that stuff gets forgotten about, as far as living in the shadows of your dad. Yeah. So. And I think that Ashton already, and Aaron stays pretty much in the shadows there anyway. Aaron's really good about just he's always been kind of a quiet, laid-back guy, and he's that way with his son as well. This battle is still going on here. Kevin Almeida has kind of got himself up there along with Jamie Astudillo there for 4th, and just looking at Corey Ventura, just got shuffled back here a little bit. So I'm sure Corey right now is probably a little bit frustrated. He knows he's capable of winning races. You see Teague Hobbs is up there as well. And, I'm sure Corey's back there just a little bit frustrated right now. But they'll start getting those Yamahas together come the next couple rounds for sure. Now that they know what they're a little bit more up against here with these guys here.
Well, I was talking about it earlier, never got to really finish my thought on what MotoAmerica does to keep these machines competitive in the Liqui Moly Junior Cup. So you're looking at that KTM RC390R. Now, what they do is they actually have weight and they have RPM restrictors. So MotoAmerica and DVO, they have a rev limiter and a quick shifter module that they have to affix to every single bike in this Liqui Moly Junior Cup competition. And what that does is it allows MotoAmerica to control the RPM. So, for instance, on the Ninja 400, they have an RPM limit of 1,200. And on the Ninja 300, it's 12,000. And on the Ninja 300, it's 13,000. On these KTM RC390s, it's 11,000. On the Yamaha R3, it's 12,850. So they have an opportunity, MotoAmerica does, at any time during the season, as it's written in the rule book, to make modifications to either weight or RPM or basically anything else that they want to do. So this class is going to take a little bit of time to develop in terms of parity for the motorcycles. But in my opinion, Jason, you can't just take Road Atlanta, which has a big, long straightaway, and say this is the way it's going to be for the rest of the year.
No, and like you say, it's a new class, so they're going to be filling it out. They're going to be sorting out the best way that they can do to try to get the gaps maybe closed down. But you're exactly right, Greg. It's only round one, and there's some of these guys that haven't even ridden these bikes before they got here. So that's the stuff that you got to look at. I'm really impressed with Jamie, though. You know, she had all year. She's looking back right now. Don't do that, Jamie. You can see a lot of people back there, and but she's doing a fantastic job. It's going to really do her head in right to be able to get up there and really ride with some of these people and get into battles like this. Last year, she started coming into her own towards the end of the year, and now she's racing against guys that have been proven winners and gone up front before. So it's really good for her to be in this position.
Teague Hobbs, the number 79, out of Auburn, New Hampshire, on the Hobbs 79, will take over the spot from Jamie Astudillo, also on that Kawasaki 400. So I think both these riders having, reaping the benefits of the little extra motor. And Astudillo tries to make a move up the inside. The motorcycle twitching a little sideways, but she holds it together.
That's going to hurt her drive just a little bit out of that last corner.
So Hobbs in 4th place, Astudillo in 5th. There's Corey Ventura in the mix. Josiah Jovi in there. Cameron Jones. Kevin Olmedo, who we saw earlier, take over for a spot for a moment as Astudillo now has got to go wide up through turn 1, up the top of the hill. Back up front we go as we can see that there's been a big breakaway of Dumas and Yates. So Dumas and Yates, both 143.9 last lap by. Both doing 143.7s as the fastest lap of the race. So only 0.2 of a second off of their pace. One other change to this class is when we look at the Dunlop motorcycle tires for the Liqui Moly Junior Cup specifically, is that MotoAmerica added 2 extra tires. So last year it was only 4 tires for the entire weekend. Now they're up to 6 tires available. So riders being able to have fresher tires for race as well as practice.
How about Joshua Jovi? He's come all the way from row 6, Greg, and he's in that battle now for 4th as well. So you've got some guys that have come from a long way back, and this is what I mean. You know, he qualified 47.4 to Josh, and he's basically gone 46.5. He's gone a full second quicker this race than he qualified at, and it's allowed him to get himself up into that battle for 4th.
Jovi, number 84, you're looking for him in the mix. He's the 3rd one in the screen on that bright green bike. As Jamie Astudillo
slams the door, huh?
Like it.
Yep, very good on her part there. I think the place, if she can go back and watch any of this tonight, is if she can just clean up turn 1 a little bit, because it looks like there's a little bit of, coming down the hill.
Oh, can he get it turned?
Turn, stay on the dirt. Yep, all right. That's still better than running off the track and having to get back on. He can get back in this fight still. So, but as you watch here, this is kind of the spot where Jamie, she gets in there pretty nice. Then she kind of runs it really wide, but it looks like these guys carry a little bit more roll speed. You can see the amount of speed that they've carried. So here we come down the hill, number 14.
Number 14,
Kevin Olmedo,
yeah.
Just gets kind of stuck out there on the outside. Now he's in no man's land. He doesn't want to get on the grass, and does great bike control just to stay on the track, rather.
Olmedo doing a good job of controlling that motorcycle and continuing his race as he gets through the.
Got into Jovi there, but
yeah, it's good though. You got it turned, and then you do the right thing.
Yep,
if you're getting
the
the grass,
in the back of your screen there, he can still get back on the back of these guys. I also saw Gage Reese there as well.
Astudillo's been swallowed up, by the way, Jason. So now she gets shuffled back 3 positions.
Oh, that's a big move, especially coming onto the straightaway there. So
Josh Jovi, 84.
Ventura still there on that R3. He's working hard. And you can see Alex now has opened up a little bit of a gap on Ashton as they come down into the last turn. And that might be the breakaway that Alex needs to see what kind of lap time he runs here as they come through 43.5, fastest lap of the race.
Wow. Dumas qualified at a 43.4.
Tips in a lot earlier than Ashton as they head into turn 1. You can see that. And look how quick he gets back in his tuck as he runs up that hill. But he's actually just broke away, and then you break it with that first split, 34.9 in the first split last lap through. to Ashton Yates' 35.4. So it was a full half-second quicker than he went through that first split. So I'm not sure if Ashton made a little bit of a mistake to do that.
Well, it could be double duty, because Dumas just set the fastest lap of the race by setting that first sector split and so on, and Ashton half a second slower. So Ashton only 0.3 off on that last lap of his best lap, but it seems like Dumas is really putting the pressure on now and just trying to make that break.
Yep.
Now, he is JP43 training. You know Alex very well, Jason.
Yeah.
Is this something that you guys would talk about, race strategy, knowing where your competitors are if they're close, and try to push the issue and make a break and then settle back into a good pace, or is he just going out there doing laps?
No, I talked to him probably about 40 minutes before the race, and he's such an intelligent young man, and I think that his father's been such a great support, his mom, everybody. He's got such a good support group around him. I told you that he's almost too nice to be a racer.
Yeah.
And as you can see, Jamie's fought herself back up there, Greg. She's got herself right back up into that fight. She's fighting against guys on those Kawasaki's as well. So she's doing a fantastic job right now. This is going to be so good for her. You can see guys tapping on the back of their bikes saying, come on, get in my draft, and so forth. But yeah, Alex is just an intelligent young man, very good. Loves to ride, rides all the time. Like I said, he's been doing a lot of dirt tracking, and that's kind of what you're seeing right now during the offseason. Has all the work he's put in has paid off.
Last time by the stripe, Jamie Ostadio, the number 49, the rider leading this train, doing a 148.8. Her fastest lap of the race is a 146.8. So some mistakes happening. We'll see if Jamie, now leading this pack, is able to lower that lap time. By the way, Alex Dumas came around, and last time he came by a 142.9.
Oh my gosh.
A 42.9. That is
qualifying.
Way faster. That's half a second faster than qualifying for the Canadian from Quebec. But this is that battle for 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, and it continues to rage on.
What a battle.
A lot of those Yamaha R3s in the mix. A lot of them built and supported by Graves Yamaha. And, we got a couple riders down.
73, yeah.
So that's Ryan Deutschlander. He's down. And the 24.
Joseph Bleiches.
Yeah, out of Michigan on that Tuned Racing R3. One of the 2 Tuned Racing R3 efforts this year. Let's take a look at a replay. Yeah.
We just got it a little late, but you can kind of figure out what happened there, I think, Yeah,
going into 10. Sometimes riders touch on the brakes, or maybe a rider loses the front, collects another one.
That's good to see. These two guys here, you can see his airbag's gone off.
Like the Rossi replica helmet, too.
Yeah,
that
for sure.
Rossi Nicky helmet.
For sure.
All right, so Alex Dumas with a couple laps, actually less than. It'll be 1 lap to go when he comes down the hill and across the stripe. So Alex Dumas on the KTM RC390R. The first race of the year in MotoAmerica. It's the Liqui Moly Junior Cup. He takes the white flag, so less than 2.5 miles around this Road Atlanta circuit to navigate for the young Canadian. In second spot is Ashton Yates, as you can see, left-hand part of your screen. Sean Ambarski, who put up quite a fight early on, has settled into third spot. And that battle of Jamie Ostadio, Hobbs, Jovi, Dylan Deutschlander, Almeida still continuing on this one as we take a look at our race leader. Here comes Ostadio down the hill.
Oh, he's in deep again as Almeida, but he's got it turned. He did a great job there. He did a great job to get it turned. He got right back up in this fight, like we said. And you can see these guys are all going to get the white flag. This is going to be a crazy last lap for this pack, as it looks like Jamie has actually pulled herself away with a 46.7, her fastest lap of the race. She pulled one out of the hat there, Greg. That's what she's got to do. She needs to get away from all these guys.
So Jamie Ostadio maybe learning a little bit after she got shuffled back and working her way through the field. It'll be interesting to talk to her after this one, Jason, to find. You're talking about a rider who was finishing 12th, 14th, 15th, 16th last year. Now, with a new team and a new motorcycle, she is one step away from a podium appearance. Jamie Ostadio leading this train on the final lap. That's for 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th.
She's going to have some company, though. I guarantee it. Down that back straightaway, those guys are all starting to form up. Going into turn 10 on the last lap, Alex Dumas, he comes down, turn 10, 10A. He's going to come up over the top of this hill. He's got one more turn to navigate, Greg, and he's going to possibly win the first race of the year.
Here comes Alex Dumas down the hill on the brakes. He'll get it turned and look ahead at that checkered flag as Dumas goes into his tuck, and he will take the first win of the 2018 MotoAmerica Championship in the Liqui Moly Junior Cup. In second spot, Ashton Yates.
great for Ashton. Got some solid points. They're just starting off with this motorcycle, so this guy's going to be there all year. Doing double duty is Ashton, riding 600s also, and here comes Sean Varsky. He's going to get third in this race. If everything goes right. Don't want to give him the old announcer's jinx here as he comes down the hill into the last corner, but he's going to get some solid points, and he's going to learn from this race as well. Student of Dustin Apgar out of Arizona there, so great job for him on his KTM, but look how close this battle for fourth was getting, Greg.
The battle for fourth coming to the line right now, and it's going to be Jamie Ostadillo. So Jamie Ostadillo. Oh, is it Jamie?
I think
yeah,
it is,
she
yes.
did. Our timing and scoring didn't pick her up for some reason. It was so close. So it looks like Corey Ventura was able to work his way. Well, he was like 9th place on that last lap, so Ventura picked his way up through the field.
And just looking at our screen right now, yeah, it's
oh yeah, Kevin Almeida. So on our timing and scoring, as you can see on the left-hand part of your screen, it looks like Ostadillo was 13th, but unless there was some type of penalty assessed for some reason.
For like 4 of Greg, since Ostadillo, Almeida, Newton, and Gage Reese.
Yeah, they dropped in the order.
Unless there was some sort of maybe start line thing, maybe they got, I'm not sure, right? We hate to even speculate, but either way, that was a great run by all those guys. You see Ashton Yates comes up and gives Alex a little fist pump. They're all going to be probably wondering where the rest of the pack is, but you can see the dominance that they definitely had over the rest of the field today.
But it sure looked to me, Jason, visually that Ostadillo came across the line.
It did, she did, yeah.
In 4 spots, so we'll get that sorted out. Top 3, yep, and they've reshuffled the order for us. As we can see on our timing and scoring screen, it's Alex Dumas, Ashton Yates, Sean Varsky, Jamie Ostadillo coming up in 4th spot. And another thing to look at for Jamie is just that time behind the leaders. I mean, you know, not too far back from 3rd place. It's only about 6 seconds, 6.1 the difference between Varsky, Ostadillo. You have to imagine, though, that Sean probably rolled out of it there, 3rd place, just so he could secure that podium. Corey Ventura, Josh Jovi, Dylan Deutschlander, Kevin Almeida, Teague Hobbs, and Jay Newton, your top 10 for this one.
So, looking at this here, this was our last group, or the battle for 4th that we talked about.
Yeah.
And
that's Hobbs on the 79.
You knew there was going to be some stuff happening down there at the end of the back straightaway. So it looks like Hobbs maybe had drafted Jamie going into 10 and ran off the track, just speculating, but that's kind of what that looked like. Maybe he drafted past, and then I wasn't able to get the motorbike slowed down. As you can see, our top 3 getting aligned here.
And you can't take an advantage if you run off the track. So Hobbs did the right thing and made sure that he fell back in line, and then was able to get the motorcycle slowed down. But to winner's circle we go for the Liqui Moly Junior Cup. It's Alex Dumas on the 23.
Lucky Yates looks the same as he always has.
I know.
Just like when he used to be there with Ashton, you get a good look at Alex with his first win. So,
and the great thing about this Liqui Moly Junior Cup class is now, away from the racetrack, there's going to be a lot of chit-chat from team owners, from competitors, about how to balance these motorcycles. And my view is one race doesn't decide what should be done. I think that MotoAmerica would be smart to maybe take a look at a different rate. We go to VIR will be the next stop for the Liqui Moly Junior Cup. They'll have 9 stops on our 10-race championship as we go to COTA next week, only bringing the MotoAmerica Motul Superbike class with us. So as race fans, take a look here on a beautiful Saturday of race action as they got to see
Sean Varsky.
Yeah. A couple different sides of the United States, Arizona, Georgia, and of course, Quebec, Canada, as Alex Dumas gets a handshake from Lucky Yates, who's been around this paddock for a long time.
He's done that with his own son. Now he's doing it with his grandson, which is awesome. And I don't see Aaron down there, but you can always see Lucky. He's always moving around quick and very supportive.
And you mentioned it earlier, Ashton Yates, who finished 2nd in this race, is the only rider actually this weekend who's doing double duty. They have the opportunity to race in the Super Sport class and in the Liqui Moly Junior Cup class, and he is doing that. Kawasaki 400 for the Liqui Moly Junior Cup, and on a Yamaha R6 for the Super Sport race, which will be coming up later on today.
Look how many guys did their fastest lap on the last lap, Greg. Ventura, Jovi, Deutschlander, Almeida, Newton, and Gage Reese all did their fastest laps on the last lap of the race. So big draft fest probably down that back straightaway. All those guys are in the 45s, so on their very last lap.
All right, let's head off to Hannah, who's down in Victory Lane with more. Hannah?
I'm here with our 3rd place finisher, Sean Varsky. Sean, first race of the season, first podium of the season. Tell us about it.
It was a really good race. I felt like I got a great start. I think I pole shotted, didn't I? Yeah. Came over the hill. I was feeling good. I had the pace. And then I just kind of got a little fatigued. I think I need to work on my stamina, and I'll be able to hang up with those front guys. So I'm super excited for a third place finish. I got to thank KTM, got to thank Bell Helmets. I got to thank Dustin Apgar with Gilliman Motorsports. And I want to thank, oh man, I can't, it's too much pressure. Just
A lot of adrenaline, a lot going on, Rannick.
Yeah, it was an awesome race, man. I can't wait for tomorrow.
Congratulations. Thanks, Sean.
How often do we see Sean at a loss for words?
Yeah,
he's such a good guy. And
he came storming on the scene last year with a big smile on his face. And
he really did. And he's a great interview, and he's got a lot of energy, a lot of passion. And this guy's going to win races this year. I guarantee it. Last year I thought he might win one or two, and but this year I really think that he's going to win some races.
Sean Varsky, one of our 2 KTM RC 390R riders, standing on the podium in 3rd spot. As the day rolls on at Road Atlanta, if you're in the area, come on out and join us. Let's go down to Hannah.
I'm here with our 2nd place finisher, Ashton Yates. Ashton, first of 2 races for you today. Tell us a little bit about trying to catch up to Dumas.
Yeah, I was with him for a little while, but I think he started to pick up the pace in the turns because that's where I was catching him, and then he just drifted away. So I was riding him the best I could, and we'll see. Maybe tomorrow I'll be able to hang with him.
All right, congratulations. Thank you.
Yeah, you can tell by the look on his face. He wants to do a little bit better. And it's funny because as Aaron got older too, his interviews got a lot better. Like he got more
and longer,
smiling. And I think Ashton and his dad, they're just so alike. It cracks me up. But that kid is an amazing rider. I've really seen him come a long way over the last 5-6 years. I remember seeing Aaron at Roebling Road when he took Ashton out on a 125. Saw him down there, probably 5 years ago now.
Let's go back down to Hannah, who has our race winner, Alex Dumas. Hannah?
Alex, you were a little shorter than me last year. Now you're taller than me. Do you think that's what helped you go faster?
Probably.
In all seriousness, tell us about your race.
I thought that was Ashton will race with me the whole race, but I didn't see him in front of me. I got the whole shot and kept my head down for all the race, and I'm happy with my win.
All right, congratulations. Thanks, Alex.
All right, so Alex Dumas getting a little better with his English.
Yep.
As well, but his racecraft, he really started to come on strong towards the end of last season in what was then the KTM RC Cup, now the Liqui Moly Junior Cup. He's taking that from last year's success right into this year, as we have 2 of these Liqui Moly Junior Cup races scheduled for the weekend. But this one, race number 1, is in the books with Dumas taking a victory by 5.3 seconds. And Sean Varsky mentioned got to work on his fitness a little bit, and maybe that was part of how he eked his way back to that battle for 4th spot that was won eventually by Jamie Ostadillo just by 0.044 of a second over Corey Ventura and on down the list. So we had a couple moments that we saw on our screens for some of these riders, but overall, I think other than a first lap crash, it looked pretty clean from where we were standing, Jason.
Very clean, and you're going to see a lot of that. When you see a pack of riders like we saw come across the line for 4th, 5th, all the way back to Gage Reiths on 11th, and you see that big of a pack of riders come across, and none of those kids really did anything too dastardly or too wrong. Our only real bummer was to see Mark Edwards go out as early as he did, right out there on turn 7 on the first opening lap. So he's going to be back up and ready to go tomorrow to try to mix it up, because it looked like he was really trying to go with those 3. As we look a little further down through our order, see Trevor Standish, Nate Minster, Deutschlander, and Blasius. We saw those guys tip over. Jackson Blackman also. Interesting to see. I didn't get to see what happened to him. Some
big Junior Cup, I guess, or our KTM RC Cup racers in this Liqui Moly Junior Cup that didn't have a great result. Jackson Blackman, Gavin Anthony, some of those names. Nate Minster, we used to see him up front. Yep. Toby Kamsuk and so on. But the day belongs to this rider, number 23, Alex Dumas, who will take victory in the first of our race action for 2018. The Liqui Moly Junior Cup race number 1, done and dusted, and it's won by a Canadian. And now it's time to get to work because we'll have another one tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you later on today. For Jason and Hannah, I'm Greg. See ya.